Yo, what's been up, man? How's your daughter? I'm Reginald the R-Star, and this is Unabashedly Reggie's breakdown of Eminem's verse on Fuel Shady Edition. Elephant in the room, I know some of y'all probably like, the album's been out, it's been 3 months and still no reaction. We don't deserve it. Of course you do, but I had a life-changing event. I'm now a father to a little girl, so I had to treat it like the roof and razor. That's why I've been away. About the song, it was produced by Eminem and Denon, just like the original. I'll only break down Eminem's part, but I just want to say that I enjoyed the verses of Boogie and Grip. I'm less familiar with Grip, although he's on Shady, but I thought he had the better verse between the two. Now Eminem's verse. I'm not sure which verse is better between the original and this one, but I really like the fact that he sounded like old school M, whether that be AI or not. Great verse, as you will see in this breakdown. One thing I thought was cool is how the verse itself is a remix of the original. For example, in the opening lines of the original, he talks about meeting Dre and pressing play. In this one, he says Till I Met Dre as well, and talks about blank cassette. He also brings up Tupac and Biggie, and of course, P. Diddy. Now, on to the breakdown. As far as rhyming goes, you'll notice that almost every line has that S sound, like in depth, check, head, or care. Let's take a look. I was up to my waist in debt, better yet, face and neck trying to chase a check. Sweat labor for minimal as wages get, just trying to get me a dub like a blank cassette. M has mentioned in the past how he's worked to sweat for this worthless check in places like Gilbert's Lodge. Also, this is very reminiscent of that Believe line, I still remember the days of minimum wage for general labor. Here we have a triple entendre because the word dub has 3 meanings. First, the meaning tied to the simile of a blank cassette, which is a copy of a tape. Back in the days, you would borrow music on a cassette tape and you would create dubs, copies, to have your own. To do so, you would need a blank cassette, obviously. Second meaning, dub is short for W, which is short for a win, a victory. Things were going so bad for him, he was just trying to survive and get any kind of win in his life. Now finally, the third meaning is tied to an old slang where a dub refers to a $20 bill. That continues how he just was trying to make any money. Fun fact, when M worked at Gilbert's Lodge in 1993, the minimum wage in Michigan was $3.35. So yes, $20 back then was a big deal. That's more than a day's work. I worked for peanuts till the day I met Dre, and that gave me a little raise in net. Now, nothing is close to disgusting as what I grow, so this must mean that what I wrote. The phrase working for peanuts is an idiom that means working for very little pay. Here, raisinette means that his net worth, his fortune, increased ever since Dr. Dre. But also, raisinette is a homophone to Raisinets, which is a brand of chocolate-covered raisins. Raisinets ties into peanuts, which is also another snack. In this line, Eminem points out that by meeting with Dr. Dre, he gradually graduated from peanuts to raisinets. But in reality, this is a euphemism because linking up with Dre did way more than give him a little raisinette. In fact, as of 2024, Marshall's supposed net worth is $250 million. Eminem continues on the earning money theme by playing on the 2 meanings of gross. The first meaning is directly tied to disgusting, as they are synonyms. The second meaning is the verb to gross, which means to generate income. Here, Eminem is telling us that the amount of money he has generated is ridiculous. Today, Eminem is still one of the most streamed hip-hop artists in the world. He's the highest-selling rap artist of all time. And speaking of gross, as of 2023, Eminem was the second highest-grossing touring hip-hop artist of all time behind Drake when looking at the average per shows performed. Crazy. Still got it. Still relevant. What I wrote makes me the illest rapper there is, was, ever will be. Now the line, illest rapper there is, was, ever will be, is a twist in my mind on the phrase the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, which is famously associated with Bret the Hitman Hart, a legendary wrestler. Eminem has made wrestling references in the past, so I'm pretty confident Bret Hart was an inspiration for this line. That's the real reason I still squeeze and I feel these bars with so much vitriol. These voices in my head convince me. I bet that Ted Kaczynski will feel me, cause I serial kill beats like Israel Keys. Vitriol means very harsh. M lets us know that his content is charged with a lot of intense bitterness and anger. As always, Eminem compares himself to notorious murderers. Ted Kaczynski, also known as the Unabomber, was an American domestic terrorist, mathematician, and former professor who conducted a nationwide bombing campaign between 1978 and 1995. He targeted individuals associated with modern technology, sending homemade bombs through the mail, which resulted in 3 deaths and 23 injuries. He was eventually captured in 1996 after his brother recognized his writing style in the manifesto and alerted the authorities. On June 10, 2023, at 81 years old, Kaczynski committed suicide by hanging himself with a shoelace. Then Israel Keys. He was an American serial killer, bank robber, burglar, arsonist, kidnapper, and sex offender. Disgusting human being. He murdered at least 3 people and committed dozens of crimes across the United States from the late 90s to February 2012. Keys was arrested in March 2012 and killed himself while awaiting trial. Israel Keys, my peripheral sees everything to his POVs, the rap G.O.D. Now here, when Eminem says, my peripheral sees everything to his POVs, it's kind of an insane line. Your peripheral vision is your vision of things around you that are not in your direct line of sight. He says that his peripheral vision sees everything the same way Israel Keys sees things, which is a crazy thing to say. Basically, M feels like killing everything he sees and everything around him. Of course, he refers to beats and rappers. Another mention of him being the rap god. Let's continue. From Little Caesar to field arenas, I made it big, word to Little C's. Little Caesars is one of the largest pizza chains in the United States. It is known for its affordable pricing. He also made a reference to his past eating habits to showcase his rags to riches story on Tone Deaf. I went from Little Caesars, BLT's, grilled cheese, being dirt poor to filthy rich. Lil C's, whose real name is James Lord, is an American rapper and former member of hip-hop group Junior Mafia. He is best known for his close relationship with the Notorious B.I.G. Lil C's and Biggie were not only collaborators but also close friends. Lil C's relationship with Biggie is at the base of the wordplay with Made It Big. Big is also homophone to B.I.G., the Notorious B.I.G. Fuel remix, who'll be picked next? I love this here. Fuel remix, who'll be picked? I love that in a rhyme. Whose name's gonna be next up? Notorious B.I.G.'s death was the domino effect of Tupac's murder, like facial tissue. Whose clock should I clean next? Puffs. The idiom cleaning someone's clock is an expression that means to decisively defeat or beat someone. Slim uses that expression to hide a homophone with Kleenex, a bread official tissue. And when M poses that Puff should be his next victim, he also does another wordplay with a brand official tissue named Puffs. Now the Puffs brand is known for containing lotion, and we all know that Diddy doesn't like it when things are dry. Phillies in police handcuffs, guilty will he step up like G-Dep turned himself in, who knows all the murders they'll pin on me next. Tre'vell Gerald Coleman, better known by his stage name G-Dep, which stands for Ghetto Dependent, is an American rapper who is signed to Diddy's label, Bad Boy Records. What M is referring to is when, on December 15, 2010, G-Dep confessed to a cold case crime, the murder of a Queens man in 1993. Now, when M says, who knows all the murders they'll pin on me next, that could be a reference to what happened to Shine. Shine, a rapper formerly with Bad Boy Records, as well as Diddy and his then girlfriend Jennifer Lopez were involved in a shooting incident. The shooting resulted in 3 bystanders being injured, and Shine was the one who was found guilty and served 10 years in prison. To this day, he claims his innocence, and in a September 2024 interview, he claimed that Diddy pinned the murder on him by having witnesses testify against him. It has long been a theory in hip-hop that Shine was the scapegoat. So prepare for me to not choose none of my word carefully. I've been comparable to Ivan the Terrible. Yo, I love that inner rhyme here with I've been and Ivan, and of course comparable and terrible. Ivan the Terrible was the first Tsar of Russia, reigning from 1547 to 1584. He is famous for his violence and tyrannical reign. I take a paraplegic and I slam his wheelchair on the cement at physical therapy treatment, then laugh hysterically, these wimps. Now, I love the inner rhyme here of therapy treatment and hysterically, these wimps. These wimps are like Slim's hair when he bleached it. Y'all need to lighten up. I give up. Fuck, I don't care in the least bit. Now, most sites have this line as I give a fuck, I don't care. But I'm not sure I understand why on one hand he would say he gives a fuck, then says he doesn't care. That's why I think the lyrics is I give up, fuck, I don't care. Which would mean that he's tired of telling people he's saying things just for fun. And you know in Criminal he says, shit half the shit I say, I just make it up to make you mad. So kiss my white naked ass. And that's exactly what he says here. Kiss every square inch of my white rear end. I guarantee that my elevator is stuck somewhere between 2 levels MCs won't ever see. The elevator here is not just another reference to the fact that he has an elevator in his house. He must be really proud of that because he mentions that a lot. But it's a metaphor for his career. It ties with the expression, there's levels to this shit, which means that there's a varying degree of skills complexity involved in something, even if it seems simple, because what you see is a genius at work. All in all, he's saying that he's reached a level of success and skills that MCs will never reach. Final lines. I spit bars so barbarically, a fucking parakeet wouldn't dare repeat. I'll never be running out of steam or kerosene if I run out of fuel. That's it, folks. That was my breakdown of Eminem's verse on Fuel Shady Edition. Now, I actually had recorded my breakdown of the original Fuel, so that will be out soon. Now, don't be surprised if I start releasing only rhyming highlights videos before releasing a full breakdown. But until then, This has been Unabashedly Reggie. Thanks. It's been real.